Hello and welcome to our product launch presentation for GridVis 9.1, our latest software release. Before we dive into the details, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sebastian Römer. I'm part of the product management team, and also with us today is Fabian Schäfer, who will share all the new information regarding GridVis Cloud. Without further ado, let's dive into the presentation. I would like to start with a short review of last year and show you all the things that happened during the release of GridVis 9.0 and GridVis 9.1. After that, I would like to give you all the highlights of GridVis 9.1, which are the new hierarchy tree, all the new functions that came to the list function in GridVis. After that, I will give you all the updates to the dashboards and objects. And last but not least, I would like to give you all the new details on power quality in GridVis 9.1. And after that, Fabian will tell you everything that is new in GridVis Cloud. First off, we had the biggest release last year with GridVis 9.0, which the highlight was the new dashboard editor. And we received much positive and constructive feedback in the first weeks and month after the release. And we introduced many features and objects, especially in smaller updates in the following releases. Customers have already created very impressive dashboards for various projects, and we ourselves created a completely new demo project for our trade fairs and for GridVis energy.de. Yeah, we really realized all these new projects with the help of the new dashboards. Since GridVis 9.0, we released a total of 3 updates, 9.20, 40, and 60, and all of these had a numerous functional enhancements to the software. On this slide, I've prepared some of these newer functions and features. A complete list can be seen on the download area on gridvis.de. Okay, next, we would like to show you all the new features in the list function in GridVis. Here you can see the overview where you have all the lists and all the devices that are in your project. On the left, there is the new hierarchy tree. In the past, you already could build these hierarchies, but now we've introduced a new feature for sharing these lists, these hierarchies that you've already built. Now you're able to have a area for your private lists and all the lists that are for all your users, for all the users that are in GridVis. You can manage this list or these lists on this icon over here. And there you have this editor to create new lists, create folders, create subfolders, and get a structure of your personal hierarchy. You can use drag and drop to put your lists into the folders that you would like, and you can create new folders and lists with the buttons down here. We also have a trash can where you, if you made a mistake, you can delete a list, and if it was a mistake, you can also retrieve lists and also complete hierarchies from the trash can. You can also build your private lists over here. For example, if you have a draft which you don't want to share with everybody, you can just build your hierarchy on in the private area, and you can also drag and drop it over to the area for all the GridVis users. So if you build these hierarchies, every user will be able to see them and to interact with them. If you close the hierarchy, you can come back to the lists. And over here, you can create all the custom lists as you could do before, but we introduced many new useful functions. Let's start with the select and configuration of the columns, which are the heart of the lists. You can, as you can see, you can display energy values, and you can also display live measurement values from the different devices. In this columns and configuration window, you have on the left-hand side all the available informations that can be added to a column. For example, the name or the description of the device, the icons, firmware releases or versions, serial numbers, or even IP addresses. But also you can add measurement values, for example, voltage or current, or energy values like active energy or consumed active energy. If you add a column to your list, you can go into more detail and configure more details. For example, the time span that is used for this column and for the calculated energy. For example, you can go into the last 7 days or this month or last year, or you can use the list time period, which I will go over in a couple of minutes. You can configure how many decimal places you want to have, the scaling, and so on. Now I've set up everything, and I come back to the list. And as you can see, all the columns are here and are updated frequently. Something that is new and more useful than before are these consumption analysis for the energy sources and all the energy columns. You can toggle it on and off with this button over here. And now, as you can see, these sum bars show up, which show you how many energy is used during this time period. And as I said before, this list is configured as the time period for this special list, and you can set up the time period for this list with this button over here, where you can have this time picker, and I chose the last 30 days. And so the sum of the consumed active energy for this time period, you can see over here. Something that is very useful are these checkboxes. If you uncheck some of these checkboxes, this bar over here shows only the energy that was consumed by the devices that are checked right now. So this is a very useful what if calculation. What if I deselect, for example, this device, and how does this impact the total energy consumption? These icons down below show the percentage, the underlying data percentage. For example, in this case, it is at 82%, and this is calculated by the time from this device and how many data points are available in this time period. In this case, it is 82%, and these warnings show up if it's below 90%. So this can be a very useful indicator if your data is maybe corrupted by yeah, devices that have been shut off during a time span, and you can yeah, see that there might be a problem with it, and you should check what is the problem here. If you want to go into more detail or filter the list in a comfortable way, we also updated the filter function. In this case, you click the filter over here, and here you have filters like IP ranges, where you can filter some devices out that are in a specific that are not in a specific IP range. You can filter the connection type, or things like the project that devices are in. You can also set up specific thresholds for historical measured values and energy values over here. For example, you can go click this button and go to the more than function, and then you have the consumed active energy should have more than 10 kilowatt hours, and now every device is filtered out that doesn't have 10 kilowatt hours consumed active energy. You see all the filters that are active over here, and you can also uncheck them right here. With the search function, you can also filter your devices and search for specific devices for all the pages that are displayed. I built some different lists just to give you an inspiration. In this case, I built a yeah, infrastructure list with all the MAC addresses and serial numbers, firmware versions, and IP addresses, just to get a quick overview of the more hardware related details, or something like the energy consumption with the um, um, consumption analysis, and the different columns with different times set up, like last year, today, yesterday, or this year. And now you can compare these different values with one another. So these are all the new things that are in regard to the overview and the list functions. This is a very useful tool to customize and get a good overview of all the devices that are in your project. Next up, I would like to go over to the dashboards and show you all the new things that are here. The main thing that we added with the dashboards in GridVis 9.1 are the new template functions. In the past, one of the bigger complaints that we got were the problem that you always had to start with an empty page when you create a new dashboard. And some of our users were demanding some guidelines or inspirations how to build dashboards and how to customize them. That's why we're introducing the new template function. If you click on Add New Dashboard, you will see this window over here, and here you can see all the new GridVis templates that will be shipped with every installation with GridVis. So we have in total eight different templates for energy management and power quality. We're hoping that this number will increase in the future for different use cases, and we're happy to hear from you if you have any requests regarding these templates, or inspirations that you can share with us, so that we can yeah, prepare more advanced templates in the future. So if you want to create a new dashboard, you can choose whether you want to use an empty dashboard and build everything by yourself, or if you want to use some of these dashboards as a let's say, foundation for your new dashboard. I would like to use this load profile dashboard. So I click on load profile and I click next, and I choose the device that I want to um, get the data from. So I choose this device right here, and I give the dashboard a new name. So profile overview. Now I click submit, and the dashboard will show up. So you don't have to do anything. You can already see all the data that is coming from the device that you selected. So if you want to customize this dashboard, let's say, for example, you want to have your company logo over here, you can use the image selection, choose the image that you want. Let's say this demo image, and we put it right on the right hand corner. And in this case, you can customize everything that is on this dashboard. I only changed this logo, and okay, I think I'm done here. What I do next, and what I can do what I can also do is I can set up this dashboard to a custom template. So if I click on dashboard settings, I can mark this template as a template that I created by myself, and I want to use it in future projects as a base, as a foundation for all the next dashboards that I will create. So if I check this button, the dashboard is saved. I go back to the dashboard list, and now when I click on add new dashboards, I switch over to templates from all users. And there we have the load profile overview that I just created, and I can select and build on top of this template that I created before. One thing that is also done by marking this dashboard as a new template is that I can go over to the overview that we have seen before. And now I can check the checkboxes again. For example, let's go for these 4. And now I can click the button over here for assigning dashboards or assigning templates that I've just created. If I go here, this assigning window shows up, and you can choose the load profile overview that I just have been created and assign this template to all the dashboards that have been selected, which are shown over here. Now I click assign, and now if I click on the row of this list, this window shows up, and the dashboard that I have created, or the template that I've just created with the company logo over here, will show up with all the data from the device that I have clicked on. So if I click close this window and go over to this device, the data will come from the device that I've just selected. So this opens much more possibilities than before. You can also assign multiple different dashboards, and as you've seen before, you can switch between the dashboards that have been assigned with this list on the left hand side. You can also switch the time period. In this case, it is a live value dashboard, so this doesn't make sense in this case, but you can also change the time period from this dashboard for a temporary time period. So if we go over here to this selection, you can choose whether you want to use the dashboard time that is configured, or you can use an individual time period. So if you change this to, for example, the last 7 days, you will get an overview of the data that was recorded in the last 7 days. So this is a very quick way to change the view of the dashboards, especially in regards to energy consumption and so on. So these are the new things that you can do with the dashboards and the templating function. Now I would like to give you a short overview of the newer objects that have been added with GridVis 9.1. First off, there's something new that is called the Modbus writing tool. With this object, you can see over here, we have these are all the same object, but in different um, configurations. The first configuration is a more diagnostic configuration. The Modbus writing tool allows you to select a Modbus register of a device that you've selected right here. And you can, in this case, I've chosen the 19,000 Modbus register. And now the object will pull all the data that is coming over this over Modbus and will show you, in this case, the 19,000 register is responsible for the voltage for live values that are measured measured and will show up here. So they are refreshed in a very frequent way, and you can see that there is a connection. After that, we have the option to give you or to give the user a manual input. So if we check this checkbox, this text input will show up. And now if you enter a value in this text field, you can transmit it to the Modbus register that is configured. Another configuration is that you can describe action buttons. In this case, I put in the action button on and off with the value 0 and 1. And I can configure a color for the button that will show up. So if I go into the presentation mode of the dashboard, if I click on the on button, a dialog will ask me whether I want to really want to switch the value or write the value 1. You can also uncheck this confirmation dialog, but I'm sure that I want to do it. And now the value is written, and as you can see, now the values changed from 0 to 1. You can also switch it off, and now the 1 goes back to 0. In this case, the Modbus register 9974 is the digital output of the device that is connected to GridVis in this case. So I just switched off the digital output of this device directly from the dashboard. I guess this opens up many use cases for different things that our users will imagine. These are just some small examples. There's also another new object, which is the bar graph. This is an horizontal bar graph, this is especially interesting for showing different energy values. It can show up to 21 different energy values in individual horizontal bars, and it will show all the values and represented that are represented in the entire time period without aggregation. So in other objects, you can configure whether you want to see daily data or monthly data. In this case, it is shown the whole time period. This might be interesting if you want to have a ranking list of your top consumers, or if you don't want to use energy values, you can also use um, measurement values and show the average or the minimum or the maximum. One thing that many people requested during the last year was um, this navigation bar in the line chart, and we introduced it. We are introducing it with GridVis 9.1, and now you can go into much more detail directly from the dashboard, so you don't have to switch over to the dashboard configuration to get a specific time period in your data. The next thing I want to highlight are all the new power quality um, functions that are available in GridVis 9.1. First off, we have a new object, which is the event list. The event list will give you the opportunity to show all the events and transients right on your dashboard. As you can see on the screenshot right here, you can, in this case, you can showcase all the events that happened in the last 7 days. In this case, you can choose what time period you want to show. In the configuration of this device, you can choose whether you want to show different columns or if columns should be hidden. And you can choose whether you want to see the, the, the colors of the duration of this event, and you can configure these thresholds. This is also something that is already available in GridVis via the event browser, but now you don't have to use the event browser just to see all the events that happened in the last 7 days, or in the last couple of days or month, but now you can also showcase them right on your dashboard with this new object. The next thing that is also known from the event browser from GridVis is the new object of the CBMA curve. And in this case, we also built the graphical representation right to your dashboard. So you can see the typical color-coded ranges, in this case, of the voltage, and you can see whether your devices or the devices that your measurement that you're measuring are in danger for example, high or voltage outage. You can see whether your devices that are measuring the real devices are in danger for voltage events. Next thing that is also new for the dashboards is the histogram. This is a visualization of the statistical frequency of historical measurement values. So in this case, you can show yeah, the most frequent frequencies that have been recorded during a time span. You can choose whether you want to see the highest frequency and the lowest frequency, so that these are highlighted, and you can choose how many of these columns are displayed. So you can choose whether you want to see, for example, 25 different columns, or only if you only want to see 5 columns. The object does the calculation of the grouping for the frequencies by itself. So you don't have to group them by hand. The object will calculate it by itself. It will also show you the minimum, the maximum, and the mean of the selected value. The fourth object in regards to power quality is the harmonics column chart. This is something that might be known to you from the homepage of the devices, but now you can also put this harmonics column chart right on your dashboard, so you get a good visual representation of the measured harmonics. You can view the harmonics of one device and the three phases L1, L2, L3, and you can choose whether you want to see the current or the voltage harmonics. In a future version, you will also be able to configure the thresholds of the harmonics, and then these gray areas in the background will show up show the thresholds that are configured. You will be able to choose whether you want to have the thresholds configured by a standard. Last but not least, we have the some enhancement. We have done some enhancement to the power quality report IEEE 519, and we updated it to the revision 2022. And we've also made some changes in the configuration and some things of the title page, and changed, made it more user friendly and get the most interesting things to the title page. Something that isn't in regard to power quality, but we've also, but I want to highlight it also, is the updates to the OPC UA client. In this case, we've made some changes to the user interface. For example, everything is more yeah, had a cleaner look, so it is more easy to find different parts of the user interface. You can also do a CSV export of this of the configuration of the connection type, or the OPC UA connection. So you'll be able to export this OPC connection and import it in a different GridVis project, for example. You can also make quick adjustments to the browse paths, and we also did some technical revisions of the applications, so everything should run much more smoothly. Okay, now we will switch over to all the new things that are new to GridVis Cloud, and Fabian will tell you everything about this.
Yeah, welcome also from my side to the product launch presentation of GridVis 9.1. My name is Fabian Schäfer and I'm product manager at Janitzer Electronics. And today I'm showing you the new updates and new functionalities in the GridVis Cloud. We have here a small overview of our new functions, which are already available in the cloud, because this is a software service solution from Janitzer. And we provide you all the updates and all of the new functionalities within the whole GridVis Cloud product. So you get every time the newest updates without doing the manual steps by your own, because this cloud service is online and we do the updates for you. Let me show you the functionalities directly in the product. When we are in the GridVis cloud, we often were asked for a new functionality that the dashboards and all the features are more static. So we implemented this functionality as one of our biggest changes in the last weeks. We also made an update to our complete user interface, to the visualization, to get it more comfortable for you and for the users. When you are in the GridVis Cloud overview, you have the different options to choose, for example, a specified week, or you can choose the time period you want to see, for example, for a day. And in the past, when you changed your location, you integrated this time base and the date were switched back to the day, to this day, to the actual day. This was not so comfortable when you want to make some visualizations and you want to make some analysis. So we changed this that it becomes more static. When you change the sites and also the functionalities, nothing is set back to start, but all the actual media which is switched on and also the select time period stay here selected, and you do not have to navigate to those topics again. As you also see, we have here on the right side a new bar on the right side where we placed a lot of the functionalities. First, they were located here in the middle of the dashboard, so more centralized. But this has the negative option that you lose some space. And within this new bar graph, you have the possibility to have all the options for the diagrams on the right side. And if you like to, you can spend the space for this bar for your data, for a more bigger visualization of your data, to get a deeper look inside it and have everything to be configured here on the right side. What we also implemented here in the UI is a new function in the comparison mode. In the past, we had the comparison every time the current selected time period and compared with the time period before. That means when you have a day, it was automatically compared with day before. So we changed this to a more flexible version of the comparison. Now you can go into the comparison mode. You can change here the time or the time period you want to see. For example, I want to compare the, the day of the 3rd of October with the day 1 week before. So you're much more comfortable, or you can also integrate a third comparison date. For example, to say, I want to compare now 1 year before. So I have now 3 comparison slots. I have the same day 1 year ago and also the same day 1 week ago. And I have up to 3 different comparisons in the same visualization. And we also changed here the card visualization that you see here to complete consumption, which is consumed inside this time interval. So this means here in this demo, I now have 1 day. So I see directly which day is compared, and I see which was the consumption of this day and how was the difference between this consumption with the basic consumption I chosen here as my basic time period. So you're much more flexible in the comparison options we provide here in the GridVis Cloud solution. The next step we're also implementing right now is that you can also compare not only time periods, but also nodes. That means within the next update, you will be able to set different nodes. For example, here one node, one main node, I can compare, for example, with another location. This is currently in development and will be released soon, that you're able to compare one site, for example, with another site, or one building with another building. Furthermore, we implemented this comparison also in the analysis. In analysis, you have the possibility to compare everything in a line chart. And inside this line chart, you have now the possibility also to compare up to 3 different comparison times or comparison periods directly in one chart. The one difference we have regarding to the dashboard and to our bar graph is that we here in the topper part of the site, we show not only the consumption, but we show there the maximum consumption in this time interval you've chosen. That means when you're looking for, let's say, a complete month, and you choose here, for example, um, 3 months with each other, you want to see what is the highest consumption at one point you have reached inside these comparison periods. And now I see the highest consumption I had in October until November was on the 13th of October at 12:15. I had a consumption of 15.84 kilowatt hours. And the other ones for 1 month before and 2 months before are also written here. So you can directly see here your highest consumption interval, consumption in a small interval you had during this time period. So this helps you to find much faster your highest consumption point, where you can take a deeper look into it and make a bigger analysis on this functionality. When you now want to have your overview of your consumption, for example, also in the comparison mode, you're able to download this data. We implemented this download some weeks before with an update, and now you're able to get here directly in this small option, and you can download this visualization here, the bar graph, with as a PNG file. That means as a simple picture file, and you can integrate it, for example, in presentations, or you can directly download the data as a CSV or XLSX file. You can use these exported files, to integrate it in other management tools, or you can make we can make different data collection out of it, and you directly can get the data out what you are seeing. That means when I have here my current the electricity for this month, I will have a file with the data with one data point per day and one data point per day for the electricity. When I now, for example, turn on the gas option, I will have one additional line, because now I have also, when I now make the export, I will have the electricity per day and also the natural gas value per day. So this is some kind of what you see is what you get in this export functionality, and you are very quick to export this as for the data you need to have. If you want to export the data much more detailed, you can also go directly in an analysis tab, because here we also have this functionality implemented, as you can download here all the values which come directly from the measuring devices. So you get here directly an export out of the database with with all the data exports you have, or the system gets from the measurement devices itself. We have also implemented a new functionality which shows to you the energy flow. This is a system when you have, for example, energy producer like photovoltaic, and you have consumers. in your building or in your location. And in this situation, you have additional electricity values. One electricity value means the drawing. This is the consumption you get from your energy company out of the net. But also you have now the possibility to show the internal consumption. That means this is the consumption or this is the energy which is consumed directly by your devices and your applications. And the energy was created or has been drawn by the energy producer. In this case, for example, by a photovoltaic. So this is the energy which is created by the photovoltaic and directly consumed by your location. The third one is the backfeed. In the backfeed, you directly see how much energy goes back into the net. So this is the backfeed of the energy which was created by the photovoltaic. But when in case you have more production than you have consumption, then the backfeed goes backward into the complete energy net. You can see this, for example, in an analysis. You get it here in the energy profile, much more detailed. And when I show here you show the day, you directly will see what is the how the day works. You see the energy flow. You see that in this case, this line is the total consumption. You have the line of the total production. And together you have these areas here. The orange area is the energy which is drawn and directly consumed. The blue one is the drawn energy, but also on the same time the energy was produced by the photovoltaics. So this is consumed by yourself. And here the green area, this one is the production. When the production is more than your own consumption, then the energy goes back to your net, and this is the energy which goes back. As an example here with a photovoltaic, you see, for example, here it gets a little bit cloudy, so the production goes down, and then the sun comes back and the production goes up again. So here you can directly see per 15 minutes how your energy consumption and how your energy flow was during the whole day. In the new version of the GridVis Cloud, we also now support more media. That means we have here the possibility to create new manual data points. And in this manual data points, you are now able to integrate more different media bases. For example, we have the electricity, the natural gas, the water. These were the media we had before. And now we also added heat, cold, hot water, and compressed air to our system. You have two possibilities. You can create this manual data points and put in the measurement values on your own directly by hand over our web interface in the GridVis Cloud. Or the other way would be if you have a measurement device, you can integrate this measurement device by using, for example, Janitzer Pro Data with a SNAL meter, or you can also use or integrate a meter which has, for example, Modbus or Modbus TCP connection. Then you can directly set up the communication between our GridVis devices and this meter by creating a third-party device. And then the data comes directly automated out of the device into our GridVis systems. Last but not least, we added a new functionality for the reports. We have now the possibility in the reports to create automated reports inside our system. And in these reports, you can, for example, give a definition and put in here a time scope. When you put here, for example, monthly, this report will be created monthly, every first of the month, automated by the system. you can select the media information you want to have in this report, and you can select the data sources. So what do you want to see? Do you want to see consumption, costs, or CO2? It's up to you what you want to see inside this report, and you can make a preview out of this report. And there you can see how the report will look like and which data will be inside this report. This one is predefined, so you do not need to set up a complete report how it has to look like, because this is predefined. This comes directly out of the system and will be easy to use. When this report is created, we have a new functionality that this report will also be sent out to the users you configured here as an email address. So this report will be sent out by email to the users you defined here. Additionally, as I showed you that we show here also the energy price and CO2 emissions, we now have a history of your contracts. For example, when I put here a contract, let's take the contract for electricity, and I have now here an old contract which is valid since 2022. I can now add here a new contract, for example, which is valid, let's say in November, middle of November, and can say what should be the charges. What is here the rate? Let's take a rate which is a little bit higher than the current one, and I put here the CO2 emissions. We can save this new contract now in the system, and you see that the old contract is now a historic contract, and the new one I typed in and created here is the new current, which is used now. When we go back in the dashboard and we take a look at our costs of the system and switch over to the month, let's take a look inside the take a look inside the new monthly um, visualization. And as the consumption stays the same, you now see here the bigger costs which are affected now by the new contract. That means that we are able to show a historic price indicator, um, which has two inputs. One input is the consumption by itself, and the second input is the contracts, which are based on a monthly basis, and also can be stored here historically, and also are used to show you the historic costs. This was a small update on our new GridVis Cloud functions, and we are happy to show you a little bit more in the future.
Thanks, Fabian, and thank you all for joining us today. For more information, feel free to contact us directly, visit our website. But for now, take care, and we see you next time. Bye-bye.